will die for you. Darling, if you want me to. You don't like this record? I will die for. Come on, Chanel.
Oh my God.
Sing it one more time.
Oh, he touched.
My mom watches this station.
Quiet on the mic.
Quiet on the mic.
Go to pass out. Go to pass out. Go to pass out.
Welcome to the new Eliot Hine Network. I'm your host, Charlie Anthony. The Eliot Hine Network is the first and only TV program that is run solely by middle school students in the District of Columbia Public Schools.
Pass out.
We are broadcasting simultaneously on Ustream, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Joining us as a special guest today is WPGC's Joe Claire. Let's check in with the Eliot Hine Network and our very special guest.
But I get the easy part. It's alright.
Oh my God.
Welcome to the new Eliot Hine Network.
I'm your host, Chanel.
I'm your host, Sharif. I'm your host, Ryan.
I'm your host, Jelani.
We are broadcasted simultaneously on Ustream.
From Facebook, Twitter,
And YouTube.
Joining us as a guest on the show today is WPGC's Joe Claire.
our show topic today is taking advantage of your talents. Mr. Joe Clay, thank you for joining us today.
First of all, thank you all for having me today. Each of you, Jelani, Chanel, Sharif, and Ryan. I'm really, really excited to be here. I think that this is an incredible, incredible network. I'm really excited to be here. Chanel, how are you today?
Good.
Good. You can relax. I'm regular just like everybody else.
Our first segment is understanding WPGC's Joe Claire.
Who are some of your role models and why?
All right, some of my role models. Well, right now, you guys are becoming my role models because of what you are doing at such a young age. You're sitting here in front of a camera doing a newscast, and you're being professional, you're prepared, you're ready to go. So right now, I'm just going to say, first of all, you four are really becoming my role models and making me remember why I do this. Other role models I had great parents. My parents were really on me to do good things out here in the world. So my mom, Maxine Claire, and my dad, Joseph Claire, were really big role models for me. And then I'm gonna say my other role model, my big one, I have to say my big brother. My big brother, who is, you guys don't know him, but he was like a really big inspiration for me, and he pushed me far, made sure that I, took care of myself, did well, didn't get in trouble when I was younger, and like he's my role model.
You conducted the last interview with the Notorious B.I.G. before his untimely death. What were your thoughts when you realized Biggie conducted his last interview with you?
Wow. First of all, Sharif, that's blowing my mind that you asked me, but it was kind of crazy when I realized that, I got one of the last interviews that he ever gave, and the one that, people would see a whole lot. And I didn't think that, 20-something years later that interview would like go all over the world and go all over the place. It showed up in his movie, it showed up on VH1, it showed up on different, documentaries about Biggie and his life. So, back then, I didn't think much of it. It was just part of my job. I was really happy to be doing that job at the time. And then what it's come to be now has really just like blown me. It's just like blown my mind.
Right. In your opinion, why is it important for young adults to embrace their education?
Ooh, why is it important for young adults to embrace their education, Ryan? For us, and I'm going to say for African Americans, for people, for minorities, for women of color, it's super important because education can get you anything you want out here in the world. Like, because I went away to college, I was able to see that I wasn't bound by just a job. I could go out and do anything that I really wanted to do. And I became a comedian. I went on to host television shows. I hosted radio shows, like I have my own radio show now. I do music production. I do, I've been able to have the life that I wanted to have, and all of that is really thanks to education. And even further, both of my parents were college educated, and so it pushed me and my brothers and sisters to all go pursue more education. And we learned that the more we learn, the more that we know, the bigger and the better we could be. We can make more money.
Yeah.
And everybody like to make more money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody like to make more money. So that's why I say embrace your education as much as you possibly can.
Coach Lonnie, go.
Over the years, you have taken multiple leadership roles simultaneously. What lessons have you learned along the way?
Lessons that I have learned. To be a good leader, you have to learn how to follow first. To be able to inspire or motivate someone else, you have to understand what makes them tick and see things from the other person's point of view. Jelani, sometimes people say that you have to put your feet in the other person's shoes, so to speak. And a lot of times we don't do that. We get mad at somebody for something. But if you can kind of look at it from their side, they had a reason for doing it, and then you could kind of see things better. So that was one of the biggest lessons I learned, that you're going to have to learn how to compromise and see things a different way, so that you can move forward and push forward, and then you can motivate people and inspire people, and eventually lead people to do what you want to get done, or as a team get to where you guys are trying to go.
If you could select one word that describes your work ethic, what would it be and why?
All right, one word that describes my work ethic and why: grind. I'm gonna just say grind, and that's like I get up and I go at it every single day. Sometimes it's really hard. Let's if I can keep it real with y'all, for African Americans in the United States of America, things can get a little tough. We can see for minorities, things can really get tough. So it's like they call it the struggle, so I call it the grind, because I'm grinding every day, and I know that every single day I'm going to have to get up and I'm going to have to work twice as hard as the next person to get what I want out of this life. So I'm going to say grind. Is that cool? Okay, thank you.
Now we're going to check in with Jabari Hall at the Eliot Hine News Desk.
I love this.
Welcome to the Eliot Hine Network. I am your host, Jabari Hall. With your Black History fact, Madam C.J. Walker was an African-American entrepreneur, philanthropist, and a political and social activist. As the first female self-made millionaire in America, she became one of the wealthiest African American women in the country, the world's most successful female of her time, and one of the most successful African American business owners ever. Walker made by developing and marketing a line of beauty and hair products for Black women through Madam C.J. Walker Manufacturing Company, the successful business she founded. Walker was also known for her activism. She made donations to numerous organizations and became a patron of the arts. I am Jabari Hall with the Eliot Hine Network.
Now we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Hello. Yeah. It starts with him. You start first. No, you.
No, I can start first.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Start off with I'm your host.
Go.
This
Go.
broadcast is being brought to you by TV on Ustream.
And the District Knowledge Network.
I'm your host, Sharif.
I'm your host, Ryan.
I'm your host, Jelani.
I'm your host, Chanel.
Our show topic is taking advantage of your talents.
Our first segment was
Yes.
understanding WPGC
Join-
Joe Claire.
Our first segment, our second segment is 2 decades of entertainment.
After 2 decades in the entertainment business, what keeps you going?
So Chanel, after 2 decades in the entertainment business, what keeps me going is the love of what I do. You know, when I was a young person, I wasn't sure what I was going to be when I got out of school and started choosing a job. And in college, I found out that I really love, these kinds of things, being in front of the camera, speaking, doing media, doing stand-up, acting, and those kinds of things. So I get to get up every morning and do something that I really, really love. And so if that's what you get to do, then, you know, it makes you, it's just really, really rewarding. And so that's what keeps me going every day.
Many people aspire to be
In the
entertainment business. What advice could you give them to be the next big star?
All right, what advice could I give
the
an individual to
industry.
be the next big star?
in the industry.
There are the only limitation you have is the one that you put on yourself, Sharif. So if you get up in the morning and you say, well, look, I want to go and I want to be, let's say you want to be the next big news person on CNN. The only thing that'll really stop you ultimately is when you start telling yourself, well, I can't do that, or they're not going to let me do that, and those kinds of things. I always was just like, I don't care what they say. I know what I'm saying to myself. I believe in myself, and so I'm going to see how far I can get. And so the advice I would give to anyone is, the first advice I would get is to get your head and get your mind to thinking that, you know what, I can go out here and I can do the impossible. The things that people say was impossible, I can do those things. It might take a little more work. It might take, a little more perseverance and determination, but I can get it done. That's my advice.
Which interview had the most impact on your life and why?
What interview had the most impact on my life and why? Well, it's easy to say that the Biggie Smalls interview had the biggest impact on my life, Ryan, because so many people saw that. It showed up in movies and on television. But one of the most impactful was when I got to interview Tupac, and it really wasn't an interview. It was a conversation that he and I had, and when he explained to me what his life motivation was, and the dreams that he had for each of us. He had dreams, even though you guys weren't born when he was around, he still had dreams for you and you and you and you, because he saw us all as sort of the same, and he knew that we would be up against some of the same problems regardless. And so that was one of the most impactful ones ever in my entire life.
Okay.
Young adults have several social media accounts. What advice can you give us with regards to posting comments on the internet?
Ooh, in regards to posting comments on the internet, remember that everybody can see it, Jelani. Everybody can see what you post on social media. So something that you think is funny right now, you may not think is funny when you get older. So, and everybody else may not think it's funny when you get older. So it may come back to haunt you. It may be bad in your future. So the thing to remember about that is that people can see you just like they can see you right now, Chanel. People can see you. Everything that you do on social media is seen by the whole world. So be really, really careful. And for you guys who are still in middle school, it's like they're trying to make you have an adult responsibility for social media. This is something I didn't have to worry about when I was your age. But now you guys have to worry about it. So it's kind of like you're an adult. You have to make an adult decision about what you put on your phone, what you put on your computer, what you say to the world. And you have to be really, really mature about it, because you never know, it may come back to haunt you someday. So that's my biggest advice I would say about social media.
Hello, I am Jabari Hall with the Eliot Hine Network report. Africa is the world's second largest and second most populous continent. At about 11.7 million square miles, including islands, it covers 6% of Earth's total surface area and 20.4% of its total land area. With 1.1 billion people as of 2013, it accounts for about 15% of the world's human population. I'm Jabari Hall. This broadcast has been brought to you today by Capitol Hill Community Foundation. Now I'm going to swing it over to the Eliot Hine Network crew.
Yeah. Oh, now we're gonna take a quick break, and we will be right back. Thank you.
And we're out.
Two decades of entertainment.
Now our third segment.
Our third segment is keys to Mike with real estate.
Estate.
Keys to the mic and real estate. All right. What's the question?
Are you fearful before you go live for an event or radio show?
Am I fearful before I go live for an event or a radio show? Nope. I used to be, and I still get a little bit of butterflies, but I love doing it so much that I don't really get fearful. I get like anxious, like I like for real, Ryan. I be so ready for the mic. Like I be waiting. I'm sitting there waiting for the guy to call my name. And when he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Joe Clan," I get really, really excited. I get really excited. So not fearful. I wouldn't say fearful, no.
Yeah. Radio, comedy, music, community, and now real estate. What sparked your interest in real estate?
Real estate helps build communities, Jelani, and right now you can see that our communities are under fire. Communities of color are getting dismantled, if you know what I'm saying. People are getting put out of their homes, and you know, we're getting called what's called, they're becoming gentrified is the word that they use. But what's happening is people are coming in, the rents are going up, the price of living there is going up, and some people of color can't afford to stay there anymore. So I saw an opportunity to get involved in real estate to, one, help my family and myself, because it is a business and I do, you know, get money from it. Let's get that out of the way. I do get money from it. But at the second time, I can help my community out. I can help someone else's community out. I can keep, you know, people in their homes, help them stay in their homes, or get new families into homes, and get that sense of community, keep it, so that we can have schools and we can have, you know, all the things that we need in those communities. And so that was what helped spark. That's what interests me the most. Everybody likes making money, but if you don't have a passion, or if you don't have something that you love about what you do, you won't really be into it for that long. And helping the community is a big thing for me.
What are the keys to longevity in the broadcast media business?
What are the keys to longevity in the broadcast media business? I don't know if I have the keys, Chanel. I do know that I have a work ethic that says you got to get up every day and go get your money. Just like you got to get up every day and come in here and go to school, you got to get up every day and go out here and get your money. And so I chose to be an entertainer. I chose to be in media when I was, you know, relatively young. And since that's the decision I made, I have to live by that decision. And so what other people call longevity, I call just doing my job. You know, I decided a long time ago that my job was media. My job was entertainment. My job was the arts and creativity. And so I get up and do my job. So for me, that's the key. Looking at it like, this is my career, this is my job, and I'm going to keep doing this as long as I can.
Do you have any final thoughts for the students at Eliot Hine?
Yes, I do have some final thoughts for the students here at Eliot Hine. You guys have an incredible opportunity in front of you to do and be anything you want to do and be. And I know people tell you that all the time, but let me say it to you like this. When I was young, there were no TV studios in the classroom. We didn't have computers. We didn't have teachers who really, really cared enough to invite people like me to your classroom. Like, he might come, we might have somebody like me come to the school, but he might just be, you know, downstairs in the auditorium or whatever. He might just come and speak to everybody. But to come and actually sit in the classroom, we didn't have those things. Plus, you guys have technology, which helps you in the world get a lot further. So for the students here at Eliot Hine, I'm going to say, take advantage of every opportunity that you are given. I know having fun is really important. Sometimes being silly is important. I like, you know how the people back here dancing behind the cameras and stuff when the music come on, and how we having a good time and we laughing and we can see ourselves on TV and all that stuff. It's fun, but at the end of the day, we have to take these things serious, because they can take us really, really far. They can take us really, really far out here in the world, and we can become examples for people younger than us and people, you know, in our community and people around the world.
Mr. Joe Clay, thank you for being a guest on our show.
No, thank you all for having me. I really appreciate it, Ryan.
Do you have any final thoughts for the students at Eliot Hine?
No.
Yeah, I just gave those thoughts, but I can give some more, Jelani. Another thought is to pay attention. Education, when we talked about education a minute ago, education is key. So You know, I wasn't a. Let me say it to you guys. I wasn't a great student. I really was not. Listen to me, Jelani. This is really important. I was not a good student. If you go ask any of my teachers, I wasn't a good student, but I was an incredible learner. Excuse me. Which meant I was really inquisitive. I was really curious about how things work. I would read and find out stuff that interests me a lot. That wasn't always what the teacher told me to do, and I paid for it a lot of times because I got bad grades, but I would know a lot of things. And so for you guys, I would say make sure that you're tuning into what the teacher's telling you to do, but also pursue the things that interest you. If you have an interest in anything, you might have an interest in tennis shoes or sneakers. You might have an interest in haircuts. You might have an interest in video games or whatever it is. Take your own time and then go figure out how those things work and figure out what your interest is in it. And then you never know. You might be able to turn that into a business or something that you love that you can do for the rest of your life.
This broadcast is being brought to us from Petco.
Thank you, Petco.
No. Don't forget to check us out on Eliot Hine TV on Ustream.
Facebook.
Twitter. And YouTube.
YouTube.
Have a great day.
Have a
Have a great day.
Have a great
Have a
day.
great day.
Shake hands.
Have a great day, everybody. Oh, boom. Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Chanel. Thank you, Jelani. Appreciate it.
Are you going to show me again?
Are we finished?
Can I sit down?
That's what we say. That's a wrap.